Hey guys, it's Shelly with the Lemonade Store, and I did this little crayon Instagram post yesterday, and I'm like, I'm just gonna go ahead and post it here too, because we can go into more in depth of what I did, some of the things that I learned while I did it. So let's do some crayon lettering. And if you haven't yet, I totally appreciate it if you would subscribe to the channel and hit the notifications bell as well. So apparently yesterday, October 23rd, was the first time that Crayola sold a box of crayons in 1903. So that totally inspired me to pick up my box of crayons, and this is what kind of came out of me yesterday. And kind of what I did here was I used a light color first, like I found a light gray, and I just used that as my guides. And you do this with markers, so it's pretty much the same thing. You can do the same thing. And then I added my color on top of it. And what I found was that all of these colors actually blended pretty well together, and it ended up producing a pretty cool effect. It totally gets the wax little pieces everywhere, but I think that's okay, and it has a really cool texture look to it as well. So, oh my goodness, for like $1, if you want to go and do something fun, go grab a box of crayons and make some magic. And we are going to do some subscriber names as well. And I have a couple other crayon techniques to show you as we get further along in the video. So just remember that put down a lighter color first, and then use your crayons to kind of whatever you fancy to add colors to it and start blending it. And we'll go over in detail as we do some of the subscriber names too. We'll do one similar to this. So how exciting. I have no idea why I have not thought of doing this before, but I'm glad I saw the picture of the 1903 box of crayons yesterday, because now this is like an endless supply of fun for me. Okay, so let's pick a name from the jar, and the first name that we are going to choose is Shania. Okay, so let's get started. This first technique it's a pretty fun one. You can use your watercolors. So let me go grab all of that, and then we'll head back, and we're going to grab a white crayon. So you can use any color crayon, but the white's kind of fun, and this is also fun for the kids to do as well. So the hardest part of this is being able to see what you're writing, and you're going to write out your name or whatever is your lettering, and get the extra wax off and hold it up to the light. That's what I'm doing here, so that you can kind of make sure that you're in the right spot. And then all you do is take your paint colors, and I'm using my Eco lines here because they're easy to dip into, and reveal the lettering underneath. So super fun, super pretty, and like endless possibilities of creativity. So thanks for watching so much tonight, and if you get too much on it, it's okay. Like I've noticed when they dry, it's not really a big deal. You can just wipe off the extra when it kind of gets starts to dry, but you can use also your brush like this to kind of go over and get any big blobs that are accumulating on the wax. So that's it. Super fun, and I love the way it looks. So let's pick another subscriber, and this one we are going to do more of the technique that we did with the first little part of the video. So this is for Angelica. Thanks, Angelica, for watching, and if I letter your name, guys, let me know. So this one we don't need paint, we're just going to use crayons, and we're just going to go over it a little bit more clearly what my process was. So you basically are going to take a lighter color, and I'm going to use a peach, and what we're going to do is faux calligraphy, and that's, if you haven't had a chance to watch the faux calligraphy video, I will put a card up in the upper right hand corner so you guys can see that. And then I'm also doing kind of like a bouncy lettering style, which I also have a video on that as well if you haven't seen it. So go ahead and write what you're going to write, and And I haven't sped this video up so you can kind of see it does take time to do each letter. So don't rush it. I know, I just want to remind you guys that don't feel stressed to go fast. You can take your time and write it out. And then with the faux calligraphy, you're going to make sure that you go down and do the thicker strokes on all the down strokes. So thicken them up with your crayon, and that will give you that look of calligraphy, but that's why they call it faux calligraphy, because you're drawing it in, you're not using a brush pen or anything like that. And it's my number one starting spot. If you want to learn calligraphy, learn faux calligraphy first, because then you learn where the downstrokes need to go. So go and finish the rest of all of your downstrokes, and I'm lightly coloring in with the crayon. I'm not like pressing super hard, but I tend to have a heavy hand, so it's still kind of hard, to be honest. So get all the wax little pieces off, and now we're gonna find some colors that we want to do the blending with. And for me, I wanted to pick some pinks because I thought that the Angelica Peach would look pretty with some darker pinks. And if you're not sure what the color looks like, then just grab a scratch piece of paper and mark them, like test out your colors and put them next to each other and see which ones you like. And you should do that with your paints too. Like, always kind of have a swatch available for you to kind of test things out before you commit on your lettering. Although I do that sometimes. I just go for it, because really you could fix it if you had to. I mean, these blend pretty well, and all the colors are pretty darn similar, and you can go over them, so it's not the end of the world if you don't like it once you start doing it. Okay, I'll speed this up in a second, but I want to do at least one letter with you guys on how I kind of lay down the color. So I do it from lightest to darkest, so you don't have to do it that way. You can totally test out different ways, but this kind of works for me. So I laid down my peach, which is my lightest color, and then I found kind of like a medium tone. And sorry for the shaky table, but I am pressing kind of hard here, and I really wanted to kind of mix the colors. So I'm using my darkest on the bottom, the middle tone goes in the middle, and then once I'm kind of all done with those three colors, I'll go back. I've added my middle again, and I'll go over all of it kind of with the peach. And I just fill it all in, and just putting those little specks of the peach all over will help blend it. And it, if you get too like strict of a line in between, like you could see, okay, like right there on my N, I stopped it and it's square. When I go to blend, I will probably add a little bit more to make it more of like a gradual fading between that color and the next color. So you don't want it to be like such a perfect, square, but the wax on this is very forgiving. So it's a good place to kind of practice blending. And what's cool about this is that you don't even have to just do lettering. You can do blending when you're coloring on, pictures and stuff. So it's a really fun process, and they do blend really well. Okay, so the last little thing that I do is I just make sure that all of my little thin stroke tails have the darker color. And then on this one, I go ahead and I do a shadow in gold. So just to kind of give it a little bit more oomph. So that's it with this one. So I just want to say thanks you guys so much. Hope you liked the video. And if you did, please give it a thumbs up so that others can enjoy it. And I'll see you next time.